Illinois Senate President John Cullerton suddenly announced his plans to retire. He says the decision is a promise to his wife. But our Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell has been reporting that Cullerton's caucus and campaign operation have been falling off the scenes in the background. Mark joins us now live from our Capitol Bureau. Mark, what's been going on behind closed doors in that camp that may have also been a factor in this decision?
Well, Eugene, as you referenced, Senate President Cullerton has said that this was a decision in the works for a while, something he's negotiated with his wife. And certainly politically and publicly, Senate Democrats still would have supported him for another term as Senate President, even going into the next term starting after 2020. But behind the scenes, he was facing increasing pressure that may have added to his decision to walk away now, even at the peak of his political power. That's precisely the legal and federal investigations into corruption, alleged corruption, by 3 sitting Senate Democrats, 3 of the 40, and perhaps more to come as that investigation unravels. There was that, but there's also a push in Springfield to ban lawmakers from being lobbyists who lobby local government and get paid on the side, as they also sit in a position of power in Springfield. And that's something that Senate President Cullerton has cashed in on. He's been a lobbyist through his law firm in Chicago, lobbying the city of Chicago for contracts and deals there, while he's been a sitting lawmaker in Springfield. He sees no conflict. He says it's a part of his side job as a lawyer, but there's a mounting political push to put an end to that in the wake of the ongoing investigation and charges filed and leveled against House Democrat Luis Arroyo, who was also doing similar work for the city of Chicago while being a state lawmaker.
And Mark, to ask a follow-up question to that, for people who do not know, how is he able to collect that money as part of his lobbying work at this time?
Well, as a lawyer, he says this was part of his normal lawyering. So for Thompson Coburn, he would go to City Hall in Chicago or go to the mayor's office or go to alderman and say, one of my clients that hires me as a lawyer is seeking this work. For example, there was a big advertising contract for a big billboard company through, they have these little bus shelters and all that. They wanted to put a big advertising campaign out there, so there was a public-private partnership signed with the city worth an estimated $700 million. Cullerton made $20,000 in that. That was disclosed in lobbying information to the city of Chicago. We don't have those same requirements for disclosing what lobbyists make at the state level, so we only got a glimpse of what he was making for the city of Chicago over the last little bit. But that's sort of an extra way for people in power to cash in on the side as they're working in City Hall or in state government.
Been in this position now for more than a decade as the leader within the Senate. Who's now vying for that spot, and how does that process move forward?
Yeah, in just less than a week since he announced he was stepping away, 2 candidates in particular have emerged as the clear frontrunners. One of them, current Senate Majority Leader Kim Lightford. She would become the first woman of color, an African-American woman from Chicago's southwest suburbs, who step into that role. She has gained support of senators like Andy Minar, Tony Munoz, some pretty powerful voices in the Senate there. But there's also Senate Democrat Don Harmon. Senator Lightford has the feather in her cap of the $15 minimum wage. She pushed that. Senator Harmon, the progressive tax, one of J.B. Pritzker's top items there. Senator Harmon goes way back with Governor Pritzker, but Senator Lightford has been closer to the Pritzker office during his first year. So those are the 2 front voices. We could see some of that change. There's still a ways to go. This position doesn't technically become open until January, when the 40 Senate Democrats will huddle together and give their votes to whichever current member will become their next president.